What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know we're about to get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun is kicking. So welcome back to another super hater, Blue Devil, all up in my world. Right? That a hater for reals, man. Super duper. Super califragilisticexpialidocious fat ass, right? Look. I did a live stream last night. Over 1,100 people in there, man. Thank you guys for all the support. And I know a lot of people wanted to hear what was going on, the drama, man, the continual drama of this bullshit artist, this flim-flam scammer, Blue Devil. You know, I've never had a lot of bad to say about him. When that whole Whack 100 incident went down and he got a puto right there, he got punked on his own podcast. I wasn't upset with him for that. You know, who am I? I'm from Northern California, man. I can't be all up in Southerner business, right? But I was upset to the point where it's like, man, I done time with real Southsiders, real dudes, camaradas, all that, you know, in real life. I have primos that function in Southern California or even in Northern California as upstaters, right? Real ones, solid. And I was getting all kinds of phone calls like, damn, who is this Vato right here? Who is this fucking traveling gypsy, right? This tagger, homie. How could he represent the Sur in such a manner? And I said, you know, I can't speak for him, but I've never seen, you know, an Africano ever in my life disrespect, you know, vatos of that stature right to their fucking mascaras, right? And just sit there and laugh about it. And, you know, I give respects to the vato droops, right? He was quick to deny it, like, fuck that, homie, you know, but them's fighting words. And I'm going to just be honest with you, you know, Southerners have always had a vicious trait. Dudes that I've been around, you know, they don't take disrespect lightly at all. Not from each other and definitely not from someone of a different ethnicity. Now, I'm not trying to make it a black versus brown thing. I'm just speaking facts. It's the same way a black dude would feel, man, if a Southerner said, hey, homie, you guys are rats. You guys are all snitches. More than likely, they're going to start swinging and figure it all out later. So when Whack 100 did that, I was kind of like, damn, I didn't want to go in on Blue Devil, but I was like, bro, how can you let that happen and still, you know, hold your head up high like you're not a coward? Because that was a cowardice act. Then he goes on Whack 100's fucking channel or whatever it was, the yelling over each other club, and gets yelled at, gets checked to the point where Whack's like, I'll pull up right now and beat your ass, stupid. And instead of holding it down and saying, hey, bro, fucking come on, Kyle. Get over here, Kyle, homie. You know what I mean? Let's get down, right? Instead of all that, Porky the Pig. He started doing the Porky. That's all, folks. That's all. That's this, right? That Vato bowed down over the internet twice. So all of a sudden, he's got fucking a peacock chest. Now, all of a sudden, what he's doing is he's using this marvelous situation to sweep his bullshit under the rug, right? To bubble back. You know, he's had this ongoing beef with Marvelous for a while before the shenanigans that Marvelous has been involved in, right? There's no sugarcoating it. You can flip it any way you want. It's a very bad look, Holmes. And a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are discussing it. A lot of people want to know exactly what everyone has their opinion. Everyone feels how they feel, and they're going to continue that structure in their mind of feeling that way, right? I've already spoke my piece on it. I've already said how I feel. So I'm going to move on from that, right? And but there's people, you know, it's crazy because when the shit first went down, me and Dubs, he called me or I called him, I forget. We conversed, we had a conversation, and I was like, fuck, bro. This is a bad look for everybody, for all the raza. You know, there's going to be people looking and laughing and pointing fingers like, look, these vatos fucking, they're all fucked up. I said, now I could play that north-south shit and say that my people. I said, but you know what? They're brown. They are my people. You know, so at the end of the day, I think in this situation with the history of my channel, I'm going to kind of step back and watch it unfold, do my homework before I fucking put my foot in my mouth, right? Before I blow hot air or bump baking soda breath on the cell door. You know, I'm not into that shit. I've gotten older, man. My focus is more on my kids. My focus is on my channel only. I got to do what I got to do. But at the same time, I have a feeling we're going to get drug into this shit. This is what I told Dubs. This is behind the scenes shit. And he said, yeah, you know, I feel the same way, man. Sure enough, Sure enough, man, people start wanting to hear our input on it. See, we don't count, myself and Dubs, when it comes to certain things. You know, I've been told so many times, hey, stay out of Southsider business, or stay out of Northerner business, or stay out of this business. Your opinion is not wanted, nor is it conceded to, right? And then the first thing that happens when there's a situation, hey, Gun, what do you think about this? We want to hear what you have to say. And usually it's supporters. And I speak on certain things because they ask me to, and because, hey, if you support me, I'm going to give back what you want, right? Not all the time. There's certain things I will not speak on. I choose not to, for the safety and security of my family, or just because I don't feel like it that day, right? But eventually I'll get around to it if I feel like it. But if my supporters ask me, hey, can you give your honest opinion on something? I try to do the best I can for them because they support me, so I support them right back. It's a give and take thing, right? Not just take, fat ass, Blue Devil, like you do from your people. So in a situation like this, you know, all of a sudden you had all these content creators that don't like me for whatever reason. He's a dropout. He's no good. They all got a lot of fucking shit to say, right? But now they're all asking my opinion. They wanted to utilize me as a fucking chainsaw, man, to cut fucking Marvelous's head off, as a tool to go in and clown, right? Hey, homie, espérate. I'll do what I want to do when I want to do it. It's my time now, right? My channel, my platform. You keep that same energy. Fuck your energy, bro. Your energy is all hate all the time, but only on Mexicans, never on anyone else, because you're scared of them. So, you know, with Blue Devil, Compa Raider, all these different dudes talking about, oh, you should say this, you should do that. Homie, you have your platforms, you do you, I'm going to do me. How about that? Because at the end of the day, we don't even like each other. You don't care for me, and I definitely don't care for you, which is crazy because Compa Raider, man, I've told people to go to his podcast, go support him. I even said back in the days, go to Blue Devil's podcast and go support him, until he started running his fucking dick suckers. And then it's like, well, hey, if you guys choose to be over there, cool. If not, even more cool, right? So last night we were doing a live, and Blue Devil lately, man, he's been having mine and Dubs' name in his mouth and running us through the mud and talking shit because he didn't get what he wanted out of the situation. He didn't get us going hardcore in on Marvelous. So what, bro? You're your own man. I don't agree with some of your tactics. I don't agree with you charging people on the internet to play music that they could easily fucking just download and play themselves. You know, I don't agree with you calling people, you know, gay and being one of those fucking weirdos like that when you're oh man, you and Dubs, you and your boyfriend, you guys do videos together. You're sitting around 3 other men all the time, bitch, right? Who's the female in that one? I don't like the fact that this dude will constantly come into my world. See, I'm a content creator, bro. This YouTube shit I've been doing swell. You know, and it's not all about numbers. I'm not going to sit here and brag, oh, I got more subscribers than you. I got more views than you. I don't give a fuck about that, bro. You could have 1 million more views than me and you still can't be me. There's only one gun. You can't stop it. And I think that's where the super hatred comes from. You know, with Blue Devil, he's non-existent in my world. And for a moment there, I watched his content. I tripped out on him. You know, I had never seen a tagger converted to a Southsider make the moves he was making. I thought, hey, this dude's pretty intelligent. He knows the game. He knows the YouTube game, and it is a game, right? And I was like, all right, cool. And then he used to go into the lives and support Dubs, not necessarily myself. He's always played that north-south thing, which is funny to me, right? Because you have a lot of the guys, and it trips me out because I've really never seen Southerners from Southern California that hate Northerners the way him and Bozo and certain other dudes do. You know, especially a guy that's never really been in contact with Northerners. It's a trip, right? I can understand if he was an upstater, then he has a bone to pick. There's some carne on that bone, right? And he likes carne and bones from what I hear, right? But when he's talking about, oh man, these fucking, you know, he was the first one to hate on Gold Toes when Gold Toes was down south trying to help people out. He was the first one to hate on myself and hate on other content creators. Like Northern content creators or people from Northern California don't have no voice or no opinion in this shit. Spencer, homie, don't be mad that motherfuckers are doing what they do. You know, you're the one running around chasing your tail looking like a stupid ass. All the content creators from Northern California, you don't see no drama with them. You don't see no bullshit. You don't see no arguing back and forth amongst their homies. You don't see none of that shit. You want to know why? Because they do it in a professional manner. I'm not saying Southsiders aren't professional. I'm saying them dudes who pretend to be Southsiders are not doing it in a professional manner. Because Southerners I've been around, homes, they know how to roll that ball when that ball rolls. You know what I mean? It's just real bowling. Strike. You're out. That's what they do. Speaking of strikes, we got a dude that will report you talking about, hey, I'll strike your channel, I'll do this, I'll do that. That's snitching, homie. That's telling. You can't just be a content creator and do a video and do your little disrespect and your little back and forth if that's what you choose to do. Whatever happened to the brown struggle, to the brown people looking out for each other, to Mexicans, man, supporting each other and building a legacy on, with this content creation rather than tearing each other down. So you bring those of us into this shit that don't want to be a part of that bullshit you're going through, that scamming, that manipulating, that hatred. If you hate someone for whatever reason you hate them for, do your thing, homie. No one's telling you can or cannot do a video. You have a platform, you can do what you want, but keep my fucking name out of your dick suckers, because I've been known once upon a time to throw a mask on, man, and murder some shit. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the best content creator in the world, because I know I'm far from that. But I'm doing me and I'm in my own lane, and I'm going to speak on what I speak on when I choose to. Haters World, he likes to get a reaction. He likes to get a reaction out of people. And the reason he does that is because of his the qualities he was born with. He was born fat, stupid, and dumb. And these three qualities that he has, that he possesses, he's ashamed of. Rather than embracing his size, rather than embracing what he's got going on, he'd rather point out other people's inaccuracies or other people's bullshit or their flaws, right? Like, he's not flawless. The fact is, he's been around he always likes to say, I've been around for a long time, this and that. Yeah, you have. You've been doing this content creation for a long time, but your content was tipping cows and doing pranks, and you've tried everything in the book. And all of a sudden I don't know if you spray painted on someone's fence and they came out and gave you a little bit of clecha, but you decided, man, I'm going to go the south side way, right? Which is cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. But I mean, you went too hot, too heavy, too fast. And in the midst of that, people realize you exposed yourself as not being a real volatile, really, with that type of character, right? I could sit here and say, he's never been in prison, so he doesn't know. But the fact is, he has not. He doesn't know. You go live, you're talking about your juvenile hall days, how you were hardcore. Juvenile hall? Stop it, bro. I forgot about juvenile hall. That was like daycare where I come from. Our parents don't want to deal with us. Fuck it. Go do some vandalism. Go to juvenile hall. I'm trying to go out this weekend, right? It was nothing. Okay, once you start getting into the youth authority, now we're talking. Prison? Oh, shit. We shouldn't be talking, right? And it's just different. So to sit here and to play the role and get taqueated down and act like you're some hardcore gangster that did beat that time, stop pretending. I'm a pretender. I'm a pretender. You're a pretender, Holmes.
You are a wannabe.
Okay, and I'm a not wannabe. I don't want to be a gang member. I don't want to be a gangster. I don't want to talk about certain situations or things that I've been involved in or I've seen. I'll tell you guys with my content, I'll tell you up to a certain point, but I omit names. I omit certain things because there's people still out there living that life, and it's disrespect and a slap in the face to put them on blast and, get them incarcerated. And that's just not what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to show you, I'm not trying to glorify prison or nothing. With my channel, I'm trying to show you guys, the depths that I lived or what I went through or what I've seen in my life that gave me the attitude I have now, that made me realize, hey, homie, I was not cut from that cloth. I should have never involved myself in that stuff, because ultimately it's not the true lifestyle for me. What you do with your life is totally up to you. But for me, there's greener pastures, homie. There's other things to do. And when we're talking about pastures, we know fucking Blue Devil. Remember that video of him tipping the cow? He knows all about pastures. The thing is this: when you are a functioning gang member and someone drops out or they defect or they fall off or they're removed and they're no longer part of that lifestyle, right? You are to not even acknowledge and ignore them like they didn't exist. Their history doesn't mean nothing to you anymore. Their future shouldn't mean nothing to you anymore. It's a point where, man, hey, it's you versus them, and there is no them. They're not on your level, right? That's what a lot of people say. I don't even trip off these DOs or these bosses. They're not on my level. Yet, when it benefits you, when you want to utilize someone, the first people you come running to is people that are just living their life, just being family men, just doing their thing. Oh, homie, I want to hear what you got to say. Oh, your channel ain't shit. You ain't shit. You're a fucking DO. You're a fucking punk. Whoa, but I want to hear what you got to say. Why should my words matter to you? because lo and behold, Haters World wanted to use me and Dubs and other people around me, him and American Cholo Man, to go at Marvelous. You know, do your own business, homie. Handle your own business with that Vato. I don't know what your guys' beef is. You know, you used his children to get at him, man. That's a low down, dirty, scheming dog right there. You know, there's other ways men handle their business rather than on some fucking comadre Jaina shit. And it's just real. You know, I make a lot of videos clowning, having a good time, joking, and that's just what they are. You know, with this guy, he's a clown, Holmes. Haters World. And you can talk all the shit you want and call me all the type of deals you want. I don't give a fuck, bro. I embrace who I am and I'm gonna keep pushing. You know, I'm definitely not scared of you like you were of WAC 100. You know, you sit there and you pick and choose who you're going to go in on, but it seems like everyone you pick and choose to go in on are brown. They're Mexican. You know, you went in on Norby's talking shit, clipping his videos, sending it to all the blacks so they can beat up a Mexican. What kind of Mexican does that to his own people? If you got it seems like every time you have a personal beef with someone, you use other people to go at them. You never handle your own business. When you had a beef with Cholo Juan, instead of handling it and saying, hey, we're right here, right now, let's do it. Because I'm sure Cholo Juan would have handled his business. You know, he pulled up solo. First thing you did was put him in a predicament with the Vato Sandman. What's his name? Snowman. I don't know what the fuck his name is, right? But that's the first thing you did is put him in a predicament with him and take the heat off you. So you're a manipulator. You're good at putting other people on blast, putting other people in the hot seat because you stay in the hot seat. They shouldn't call you Blue Devil. They should call you Hot Seat Red Devil. You know, anytime a Northerner comes on YouTube, you're the first one to hate on him. The name fits you, Haters World, because you're a straight up soca and a hater, Holmes. You know, you can't see other people getting it. I don't care if you win all that. I got more subscribe. I got more people in my life than you do. Yeah, a bunch of motherfuckers paying you, Humps, to play music that's free. It's crazy. You know, oh, I started this shit. I'm the leader of this. Bro, you're from a traveling band, Humps. You're like in your mind, you're a rock star. You think you're part of Aerosmith. The only thing you have in common with Aerosmith is you travel from fucking city to city claiming whatever's right there. Stop it. Okay. I'm going to say this and I'm going to say this once. You go ahead and keep my name out of your mouth and stop disrespecting, and I'll do the same. If you have issues with anybody, handle your business, man, like I handle mine. If not, you know, if you want to continue to play the games and go in because you think it's good for views, well, we can get them views then, right? But it's not going to end well, Holmes, because at the end of the day, I'm going to point out every inaccuracy about you, just like I'm sure you're going to do with me. You know, or we could be brown men in this situation and say, hey, I could care less about you, you care less about me. Let's just keep it pushing. You know, it's just crazy, man, that I'm even having to make this video about this dude. It's because, you know, first of all, it's for the views, like he would say. And second of all, it's because to me, he's a super hater. So he's now joined my catalog for one of the supers. You know, I hope this is a one and done video about him and I don't have to keep going. But I mean, if it isn't, it isn't. And then we'll have part 2 and part 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? All the way up to part 13. And we'll end it there since that's his favorite number without even knowing the historia behind that number. It's a trip, right? It's a trip how a dude that was once a tagger. And shout out to the dudes who were I have homeboys in my neighborhood that were taggers or with the biz to the fullest, right? And I'm not saying you can't be a tagger and then, but it's like this Vato likes to skip over all that. He likes to gloss over that, like something's wrong with it, homie. That's part of the lifestyle too, stupid. I don't know, man. I just think he's a flawed individual. And if you want to go in on Marvelous, do your thing, man. Ain't no one stopping you. Ain't no one saying you're right nor wrong, right? It's just stop involving myself and Dubs and other homies that we know talking about, hey, man, you got, you know, like we're all kicking it together and we're against you. I've never been against you. I don't like you, but I'm not against you. But I'm not into the, you know, I'm not into the business of liking men. So I could care less what you do. You're just another content creator, bro, with a lot of inaccuracies in your stories and lies, bro. And you depend upon other people that have that gangster look to come in and validate you. But you're not him, bro. You're not that. You know, you're in good standings because you've never stood up. Straight up. Real talk. I hate that shit. There's a lot of autos. Oh, I'm still in good standings. You ain't never done nothing, homie. You ain't never dropped in to drop out. You ain't never put in no work. So, of course, bro, you're just, believe me, but behind your back, the homies are like, that fat fucker ain't with business. There's so many Southsiders, man, that are real ones that are on YouTube watching just for the stories and to have a good time in their in the meantime, in between time, that see you and they're like, ah, man, I've about to got punked. Whack 100 punked them, right? If you notice, man, with Whack, after you were calling him Unk and you paid to get him to not go beat your ass and all that, right? I called him to find out what was going on behind the scenes, and we had our little debate, and he started talking about moms and shit, and it went left quick. And I ended up hanging up after I said my piece or whatever, and it wasn't a good look for nobody. Didn't expect it to go that way, but I kind of baited and instigated. I'll be real, right? And whatever happened, Whack came back into the live and listened to some music and made some comments, and we agreed that, as men, we're not going to keep the rah-rah shit up, which was very surprising with Whack 100 because he's known for that, man. That's how he keeps his ball afloat, right? But I seen the real gangster in him. I seen the real man in him where he's like, hey, we can let that shit go. And it's just like whenever we see each other, we'll deal with our shit. Like, man, will we ever see each other? One never knows, does one? You never know. This is a small world we live in. Just like I'm saying, Blue Devil, it's a very small world. It's when it gets to that point or that level, people talking about beating each other's asses and doing this, man, be very cautious and careful, just like I am. Anyways, with that being said, man, here, I'm going to end it like this, bro. Keep my name out of your mouth. I'll keep your name out of my mouth, or we can go to toe, bro. But I was born with 11 toes. So I got one more in the chamber than you do. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people, man. Hey, you're just a hater. This YouTube shit, this is my world. Bang, bang.